Hey guys, this is the general reading for Aries. This is going to be the first one. I do 2 per sign, so this is the soul journey reading for Aries. So if you're looking for more soulmate, you might want to check out my next one. However, sometimes these do tend to go to soulmate type energies, just because sometimes soulmate energies are what we deal with along our soul journeys. And this does seem to be a little bit more of kind of like a soulmate type journey. I'm not going to harp too much on that. That'll be the next one. But I am going to go into it just based on you and what you're dealing with. As an Aries sun, moon, rising, Venus, if you have significant Aries in your chart, or if you're just drawn to this video, or if you're a cross watcher. Also, if this doesn't resonate, or for more of a complete picture, you may want to check out my other videos of your sun, moon, rising, Venus, significant placements in your chart, or if you're just drawn to that video. Also, energies can, obviously flip-flop. So some, none, or all of this may apply. Apply it to your life if necessary. Don't make it fit if it doesn't. I could read it as you. It could be someone else. I could be reading this as a soul journey. It could be love. It could be work. Just apply it as necessary to whatever. Also, thank you to those of you who have contributed and helped out with my channel by liking. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell. I put out different types of videos. So then you'll be notified of those when they come out. Thank you for those who have really contributed with services, donations, or tips, whatever you want to call it. People have just left comments, at the very least, like the video and subscribe and hit the bell, to show, appreciation for my time, or if it helped you or whatever. If you want further information on readings or any of my other services, I do other services as well. All the information is in the description box below the video about the prices, my email address, my PayPal address, whether it's for services, donations, whatever. All the information is in the box below. Of course, if you have questions, please email me. But it says all the stuff in the description box below. So you just look at the services, you decide what you want, you pay my PayPal, and then you send me an email when it's done and what you chose. I mean, it says it literally all in there with the star and everything. But of course, if you have a question before you want to pay, or if you miss it, I'll help guide you. But just to kind of help save my time a little bit, everything's in the description box below. So yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. I think that's it for now. This is a little bit, this moth is gonna drive me crazy. This is a little bit of a deep energy. Actually, that might be significant, that moth. I think that is significant of your guys' energy. This might be a little bit of a deep energy, and I understand most of it, but some of it I can tell that I'm really not going to get the full gist of it until I really get channeling and in your cards. I'm going to try to make it as fast as I can, because I know that, most people like certain time limits on the reading. Some can hang with me. Some people don't have the patience, and I don't think a lot of Aries do. You guys are very energetic and, fiery of a sign. So I'm going to try. If not, hopefully I'm just resonating with those that are really at that part of their journey, that they're just right here with me, But this is a very deep energy. So I'd highly recommend that you guys hang with me if you're kind of at a little bit of a significant kind of crossroads or transformation part of your journey. I believe that moth might actually be significant, because I think there's something that there's a pattern going on here, and you're right at that point between breaking out or cycling again. And Some of you may not even realize this. Some of you might be like, no, you know, I've already gotten to that point. I'm already done. I've seen it. And I would still watch this video because there seems to be subconscious things here going on that cycle you back to where before you know it, you're back on the cycle and you didn't even realize it. Or you're, I don't even know if this will make sense to you guys, but excuse me. You guys will be put on another cycle that will shoot you to the old cycle, and you'll just be like, what happened? Like, before you knew it, it just happened. And it's kind of like a moth. It keeps flying around right now. It's I've never been in here before. That keeps just being drawn to the light. Like, and the light isn't even anything beneficial to it. It doesn't really, to my knowledge, I don't think it really helps it out. It's just almost like a distraction or something that it's just so drawn to that it like can't resist. But then when it's there, it's just like there and it doesn't do it any good. It's just stuck there and just keeps drawing it in, almost like a drug in a way. So kind of like this thoughtless pattern or something that you can't control. It just happens. And then as I was getting ready to start your video, a song came on that for some reason I just knew like that was a song, like I should bring it up in this video. And it was the song called Too Good at Goodbyes by Sam Smith, where it basically talks about not letting anybody too close to you, or one particular person or anybody too close to you, because every time you do and you open up, it hurts and you get left in the dirt. But every cycle that it happens hurts less and less every time, and you cry less and less every time. And that's how you know, like, you keep trying to resist and putting off the cycle, you know it won't work because you or the other person is getting too good at goodbyes. And on one hand, you know, that's great and all. You might be like, oh, I'm getting stronger or better at this. But yet, for some reason, like the moth, you keep getting drawn to it. But then at the same time, being careful that the reason you're not getting better at it every time is because you're developing even more of a lack or fear-based mentality, and your hopes and your desires, like your expectations, get lowered every time in life. And you just don't dream that big anymore, or you don't see the possibilities available to you, especially outside of this situation. You learn to limit yourself. You learn to close down your heart to where you don't get hurt or disappointed anymore, because you know what to expect. It's the devil that you know, but yet, you know, you start to shut down, and that's only because you keep going back like the moth to the light to things that are just going to draw you in but not feed you or love you or help you grow or evolve. And it's really starting to take the time to look at what about you is attracted to that, and or developing your level of discipline. So let's get started with your cards, because I want to try to hurry this up, and I've got quite a lot of things, so I may not show you all the cards with what I'm thinking or whatever, just because I do want to try to keep your guys' video somewhere around an hour, hopefully. So we'll see. Where you are in the central position is you have the Ace of Wands. So you're definitely at this part of a new beginning, a new passionate, like you feel like kind of like, I'm using a significator for you guys. So I pulled up Aries just to kind of zone the energy in. And it's like you see all this energy that's just building and building and building, and it's like really around like your root chakra. I mean, it's, I'm sure, very sexual and creative energy. And I think it's really building, and it's helping you transform and also become stronger. But what are you going to do with this? And what's crossing you is, okay, before I go to what's crossing you, there's a lot of cards that came out to kind of explain this, and it basically shows, I think this is external to you and internal to you. It doesn't really matter, but I feel like some people in this may be in or believe they're in a twin flame type of relationship, or this just could be playing out soul journey, but I'm not going to play off that because it really doesn't even matter. This seems to be a very much an Aries energy right now. And I think that someone around you is also not coming to you, or maybe slow to commit, be involved with other people, having to wrestle their own inner demons, make decisions, watching, but yet staying back, trying to maintain balance and wait for who's going to communicate. So there may almost even be like a stalemate here in communication. But I also take this energy internally to you, and that's probably why this energy is building up as well. Not only you becoming more passionate, you wanting this new beginning, but it's going to build that creative, you know, sexual, intense energy. And I feel like this may be the pattern that a lot of Aries are stuck in, to where it builds up and then they wait and they become so like, ugh, and they go, but they always go towards the same thing. You know, they always go towards, I don't know, is there a better way to say, the wrong light? You know, they always go towards the external light and not towards the internal light, if that's a better way to put it. Because something about you is also stagnated because you're wanting to come together and you're trying to battle this part of yourself and have inner strength and make this decision, but you're also watching and sitting back and waiting and creating balance, waiting for someone to reach out to you. And that's where this big Ace of Wands energy is coming, in this buildup and this creation and this want and this kind of new beginning. Like, when is it going to come? And I don't care if you guys are like, no, I've already reached that point. Hear out the rest of the reading, because it shows that. But what's crossing you is you have the Four of Wands. Why are there so many things in here? So this is what's crossing you, or what you're possibly waiting for or thinking about. And to go along with that, you have the moon, which I have to say, you guys have 3 moons, at least 3. So there's something about this that you're not seeing properly. That probably comes not only from your subconscious, but think about it, moons come in cycles. There's a huge cycle here. And something that you're not seeing properly. Like, she can't see all of herself or this reflection in this card. There's something, and she's also looking behind her to the past too. So I wanted a little bit more clarification on that. Like, what exactly was the moon? And I got, with these cards, the Anchor, the Bear, the Tower, and, you know, kind of like the heart, the Love, or the Lover's card, which is showing me, like, I think you have a misconception of what brings you stability and makes you stronger, and you keep being stuck on the concept of this, which is exactly what's crossing you also, this. But you're not seeing things properly with this. And this idea is keeping you stuck. It's not actually what's going to bring you the strength and stability that you're looking for. I can't tell you in this reading why you keep going towards that except for that your patterns have trained your mind to think that. But if you want to know more on that, you can come and do a session or a private reading with me to see what keeps drawing you to that and to help break that cycle quicker. But either way, there is definitely a cycle here that keeps drawing you that way, and there is a misconception you're having. Misconception, perception, whatever. For a card that just wanted to come out for you, you have the Two of Wands. So it's basically saying to you, like, yes, great, you've got this initial passion, this initial oomph to go. But it doesn't want you to sit there anymore. It wants you to expand and create with that, to take action with it, not to sit here and wait on somebody else. This is being given to you for a reason. It's building up with you for a reason. Like, do something good with this. Don't do in the end what you've always done, even if you're telling yourself you're not, because I get this vibe that a lot of you are just being a lot slower to act and create. And part of the momentum that's building, and I almost feel like this is a part of the pattern that happens, is that you get your stuff about you, you gain control back, you pull back, you put up your boundaries, you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. You push completely away, and then you sit and you stew in that and you wait. I mean, especially for Aries, that fire that's going, and then you're just sitting there and it's building and it's building and it's building and feeling like you're just going to pop. And it either makes it to where, like, you go and do something you shouldn't, or you possibly find some way to manipulate your own mind and run back to this situation or person because you've just got to get rid of this energy. And it's because you're not doing very well on breaking out of this pattern to put this energy somewhere else. Instead of just letting this flame just burn while you're sitting here not waiting, like, actually take a different, like, this is all about a different course of action. Take a different course of action and use this energy. You don't even have to look at it like, oh, that energy is not for that person anymore, because you'll still have two wands. That fire will still be burning bright if and when you ever need it. But at least take that and go in a different direction. You know, multiply this energy. Don't wait and let it burst and then burn it all out on something that doesn't keep feeding it and fueling it, and that doesn't even deserve it in the first place. Put it somewhere where somebody or something is going to appreciate it, but also allow this energy to multiply and grow and be giving you life, not be putting you in this cycle where you do build, like, no, like, it's time to do something different with that. And what's in the foundation of the reading is, again, you have the moon and her kind of going on a journey. And in this card, this moon is really about, like, this card really has like a high priestess type vibe. Like, and then next to it is the sun. So not only are you having here the masculine and the feminine, balancing your masculine and feminine energies, he's also looking like this is very much one of enlightenment. His, what are these horns? Antlers are really almost like antennas. So also very much, even though there's moon and sun, this moon is very much like a high priestess, psychic, empowering, just all in her power and all-knowing vibe. And so is this card. This is the enlightenment to it. This is the masculine and the feminine, the moon and the sun, the opposing forces, but yet the forces that work together. It's about polarities, but at the same time, the blending and working together of the two. First off within, but then ending up being external. But marrying these energies within yourself first and foremost. But this is very much a divine masculine and divine feminine. And maybe even a pattern that is blocking this. Most importantly, internally, which is why externally there may be a problem. So I'm going to, this video is going to help trying to push you on the soul journey part of it. And maybe the soulmate part will build off of it and everything too. So that doesn't fully matter. In your more recent past, you have the 7 of Pentacles and you have the 5 of Pentacles. So really something that you've invested and put your time into and been having patience with, and it kind of just left you out in the cold. Like I said, it left your match, just fizzled out. And you've realized that. You've been in that phase. Like I said, a lot of you be like, no, I realized it. I'm good. I'm past this little part of it now. But I think the importance of this reading for you is that that cycle is going to start to come where you're really at that point where it's up to you which way you go. And I'm not sure if you see it coming or not. And it's time to not let this be fizzled out. It's time to let it grow. And eventually get to, you know, even a victorious part with the 6 of Wands. Not letting your ego get in the way, you know. But under that you have the Lovers and working together. Whatever on that, we'll go there later if we need to. But you've been waiting on something and investing your time in something to reap the rewards, and it's left you like not well, not worth your investment. And crowning you, you have the Queen of Swords, heart and passion balance, 3D and spiritual etheric balance, with the 7 of Wands. And in the 7 of Wands, like their wall is like they're completely walling off their emotions. And there's a whole lot of emotions here, but they're walling these emotions off. So you probably clearly are thinking of or have cut something off because you have gained a level of discernment and want a level of balance, and you are just, you're blocking those emotions off from yourself or whatever is pertaining to this situation. And that's kind of great and all, but not really, because it's the fact that you're not processing those. Like, I get it, like this is your subconscious, like what's in this moon card, what you're not seeing. And because you're blocking it off to try to feel better, it's possibly keeping this pattern going because you're not seeing something. What's in your likely future is, again, you have the 7 of Wands. But this 7 of Wands is like two, I don't know if these are wolves, coyotes, foxes, I don't know, going at it. And this could be you and somebody else because you're cutting them off. But I feel like this is also you internally. Like, you know, now that you're cutting them off, especially if you do have kind of like an addictive tendency to this, like where you start to get obsessive thinking or in compulsive thinking when you shut them off, and it's like, what do I do now? You might be literally battling this side of yourself, which that's not necessarily a bad thing. These are your blocks coming up so you could see them. So work through this energy, but it's going to eventually push over like that dam that you've built up. This dam, and you're gonna see your emotions. And I wanted to clarify that a little bit more. And you got the Prince of Cups, which really is the Princess of Cups, is a typo, which is the Page of Cups and the 9 of Cups. So you're really battling it within you because this is something that you have really wanted. It's really been, these are all your emotions. These are all your emotions that you're blocking off right here. These are them. So it's like you're really trying to like tell yourself and lie to yourself like this is not what I don't want this, but you do. Like you're wanting this new beginning or this talking or this offer expression of love. And this is, you know, a wish of yours. And to clarify that even, because I'm like really wanting to go with this and be like, what exactly is this? You have the snake reversed, the stars reversed, and the scythe reversed. And it's just basically like you're battling yourself out because now that you're pulling yourself away from this, another part of your mind is trying to remind you of all the good things you thought. You know, it's that part that's coming back in when something happened that really was like, no, I see this for what it is now. I'm cutting it off. And then now in the likely future, here you are again battling this other part of your mind that is like, well, you know, I really miss when me and so did this. Or when I used to go to this place and do this. Or maybe it's even a job. Like, you know, man, I used to get like good paychecks with this company. Or I used to really like my coworkers or whatever it is. Whatever the situation a person is, you're now starting to battle because you're seeing it in the good light again. Like everything, all these cards, like these are all, like here's the battle you're having with yourself and possibly with someone else too, but at the very least internally. And it's this other party that's like, no, what are you doing? This was good. We enjoyed this. This was good for us. It gave us so much emotional happiness and fulfillment and peace. It wasn't bad. We've wanted this for so long. We don't want to cut it off. What are you doing? So it's like that, you know, ego inner child part that is like, what are you doing? Like something in your mind has programmed itself to think that this is what you need or want for happiness. It's possibly one of those things that drops chemicals in your brains that's like, you know, good type stuff that your mind and your subconscious is really messing with you. So I wanted to see, which I see now, but at the time, like I said, sometimes I don't see it until I get talking and channeling and going, but I wanted to see really what crossed from you being so adamant to being like, no, I see this now, to being like, well, you know, like, but it's such a special, you know, relationship and blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing else like it and blah, 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 blah. And the two cards that came up were discipline, training, consistency, and practice, and supernatural, inexplicable, miraculous, and otherworldly. So your discipline, which, you know, Aries is, unless you're like evolved, is something that, you know, because you guys are so, what's the word I'm looking for? Like impulsive of a sign a lot of times because it's so like, let's go. Like you're so excited, so much energy. Discipline is something that, for anybody really, but especially in Aries, is going to have a hard time with. And I don't know, like either this really is a spiritual relationship, whether it's just supposed to be karmic to teach you a lesson, whether it is a type of twin flame thing or whatever, and there's so much controversy on what that is, so it doesn't matter. You might really be feeling this pull. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter whether there is a relationship that is spiritual or not. And spiritual relationships do not always mean that you're supposed to be together. Like sometimes they're just there to teach you a lesson or to teach you self-love or to help you on this part of your journey. Even if it's to come together and go apart, but something about you is starting to tell you, or starting to, you know, get at, like really show you issues with your spiritual discipline within yourself, this level of instant gratification or of knowing better in your mind, even though it's telling you something, it's that you know better for your own good. Literally having to learn how to parent yourself. Because that's what you're going to have to do. It's the same thing you would tell a friend or a child, you know, because you know better for their own good. And I think your discipline is starting to get at you, and either your mind is telling you that this, you know, you feel so much below the surface, you feel so much pulling you in, or it really is for a lesson or whatever. And it may not be that your lesson is supposed to go to that, like a moth just keep going to the light. Maybe this lesson that you're feeling with this supernatural and, you know, something that can't be explained in otherworldly is supposed to be doing this to help teach you discipline, to help grow you on your path in soul evolution, and also so you can now take this energy and expand it to this energy instead of just sitting here like this from now on. So don't let your mind mess with you and think, oh, this is so miraculous and beautiful, it must mean I should go that way, and let it start messing with you. No. I mean, at least not in this cycle, it's not, because until you can learn how to do this and benefit and use these energies on its own and not be drawn to it like a moth to a flame, or a moth to, I don't know, like, what is that? Moth to a flame, burned by desire. I don't know. It's like a Janet Jackson song, but either way, until you can learn that level of balance where you're not just mindlessly being pulled to something and you have no discipline over yourself, you're not there anyway, so that doesn't matter. This right now is showing you this may be something that's helping you learn your learn your discipline, because that is what's affecting you right now, of why you go from being so gung-ho that you're like, nope, I'm done, and you're blocking it off, and then now you're having like inner wars with yourself, possibly externally too, but at the very least internal wars with yourself. And now you're telling yourself a completely different story. Before, you saw it for what it was. Well, should I say currently you see it for what it is. But in the likely future, you may or are now, I don't know, getting to a point where your mind is starting to mess with you again and tell you that more fairy tale story. And, you know, your discipline is really being called into play here. Like, really. And it's trying to get you to a level of balance. With this, again, with this sun, moon, masculine, feminine, polarities, opposites. How you see yourself is the King of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. Which is funny, and I don't know if it's just another representation of me, but that you literally came up as the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. So you probably are really trying to think logically about this, which really is, and on one hand it's helping you, but on the other hand it's starting to make you also spiral, because when you're that much in a level of in your thoughts as the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, but yet you have this level of passion that's burning, it's going to start to take that logical mental action and really get it going, like really where your mind gets flowing and cycling so fast that's how you get caught in this trap again of only seeing things the way you want to that benefit you. But either way, that's just a little observation I had. You're sitting there, you've made the decision, and, you know, you're wanting balance. You're wanting even give and take. what's in your environment or how others see you is you have the Ten of Swords and you have the Princess of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. So being done with something, you might have even learned a certain level of knowledge, because in this card, here's an open book. And then in this card, there's some letter or information that came. So you or somebody else, there may have been communication or some type of message that came that saying that you or somebody was possibly done, but yet still waiting. And I get, honestly, what I get with this is I get this for both of you. Person, situation, whatever. That both you are like, yeah, I'm done. But both of you are still waiting for the other to come now. And so to clarify this, I got the B reversed. So not putting in the work. What's in your hopes and fears is you have the Knight of Coins, Knight of Pentacles, and that's clarified by the Emperor. So here's you, but it doesn't have to be you. Again, I get this vibe of a mirroring vibe. Like you have a lot, in my opinion, of mirroring things going on here. And I think this is being guarded and prepared to take action, whether it's for war or good things. Like if you look, he's prepared with armor, but his armor has like these little girly flowers on them. So it's like whether it's for, you know, battle or it's for good things coming, being prepared, but not taking action. Like they're just standing there, again, waiting. And the hopes is to literally gain such a level of control and maybe even action, but to where you don't have to have this much armor on. That you're just a lot more together and gathered and controlled. And yeah, having like the balance, like if you look at his staff or whatever, it looks like it has like a moon and a sun. Like he has gained the balance of the moon and the sun, the masculine and the feminine. Like this Emperor, in my opinion, would be a divine masculine. And to me, a divine masculine, when they reach that ideal divine state, they either have started or they have achieved that balance of masculine and feminine within themselves. I mean, because even if you look at the card, there's like so much masculine Mars type stuff, but so much feminine type stuff too. So this is not really balanced. It's trying to portray like you're balanced, but it's not. This is actually more balanced. But if you want to look on the more shadowy side of it, hoping that somebody chooses to take action, but maybe fearing that they'll just be guarded and secluded and sitting and waiting on their high horse, even though ironically enough there isn't one in this, but on their throne. Maybe like even being like controlling about it or manipulative. Maybe like, you know, thinking they're like God. You know, this guy looks a lot like Jesus. Which is, on one hand, let's be honest, it's a little bit sexy. I mean, it's a little sexy when, I don't know. I have a little bit of messed up thinking sometimes too, but sometimes it's a little hot when people have God complexes. But it's really not. I mean, it's not. When you get past the like I don't know. I don't want to say romanticism because I don't know if that's the part of it, but the like the power part of it, you know, I don't know. It's part of my shadow side. It is what it is. But and I'm sure you guys would understand that being in Aries, like on the one hand, it's like you're looking for somebody who has this kind of on their throne God complex or whatever, but not in the way that like this is. You want somebody to have that, but also know that balance. Like basically to have it, but have the balanced feminine with it. So they have a level head about it where they know they're really not God and they're compassionate. Because really, if the ideal of God were to come to you, it really wouldn't portray so much power or control. It would actually have that all-knowing kind of feminine, compassionate, considerate, caring, nurturing, but yet strong masculine vibe at the same time. It's hoping and wanting, I guess, the balance of that. And this guy kind of has it. You know, he kind of has like the feminine and the masculine combined. So somebody who has, I don't know, this is like a little off track, but somebody who has a little bit of a balance of that, or at the very least, like, they don't portray the negative sides of the emperor. They portray the positive sides of the emperor. I hope you guys get what I'm saying, but whatever. In your likely outcome, you have the Four of Pentacles. And to clarify that, you have the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. So I think because of this war kind of within yourself that starts, instead of you just straight up cutting it out and blocking it off like you were thinking up here, I think you end up kind of in a way, in whatever way you want to put in your life. This is going to be circumstantial. It's also a general reading. You end up not so much discarding it, but kind of burying it and maybe even saving it for a later date. Because you end up getting to a point where you can't decide what to do with it. You're trying to achieve a level of balance, and you can't really find this thing in your head quite yet, your head or your heart, to like literally be completely done with it, like where it does not exist in this world anymore. But yet you also can't find a reason at this moment in time to make it a part of your present reality, if that makes sense. So you can't decide, and if you don't do this with it, then you stay off balance. You either need to get rid of it or bury it. And it's almost like you got to a point where you're like, I'm getting rid of it. But then something came after that, you know, maybe some of your discipline or something otherworldly, and was like, wait, hey, maybe you don't want to do that just yet. And you're like, but why? Why do you say that? This is my Gemini twins talking. Well, why do you say that? And, well, do I really need to show you? And it's like, yeah, you friggin' need to show me. I'm sitting here right now. So if you think something else, you need to show me something else, or it's gone. And it's like, oh, you're ridiculous. This is why. Remember, don't you remember? This is why you need to possibly don't, like, just get rid of it. Like, you're being a little hasty about that. This is possibly a good time for us. This is possibly good emotions. Don't you remember? And you're just like, yeah, I guess. I mean, that was a long time ago. It's been a long time since it's done that. But it's like, but still, it was still there. And it's like, yeah, but I don't even know if that was real. Like, I don't think that was real. Like, nothing about that has shown that since then. And it's like, well, yeah, I know, but let's just keep it just in case. Because if there's even a chance that this is real, cha-ching, and you're like, all right, fine. It's not going to hurt me in the ground. Let's just bury it and put it in the ground. And to clarify that, you have the tree, which is about like things growing in health. Maybe even that the roots go so deep with this that you have a level of loyalty to this and commitment that is hard to just let go of because of all the time. And I always encourage you guys to listen to your intuition and do what you're guided to do. You know, and this is a really hard, sad kind of situation. But I feel like this exact cycle, this exact thing that came in, that is now having this conversation with you inside your head, that right when you were about to let it go, convince you, because it couldn't win. It couldn't win to get you to bring it back in your present. So it tried just enough, and it settled with this. Because it knows if it can get you to put it in the ground long enough, excuse me, for you to forget and heal and let this energy build up enough. Because you've never done this before. So it's not betting on this pattern. If it can get you to wait because it thinks you're going to sit like this, that eventually you're going to come back and dig this up again. This is the pattern that is resurfacing, that keeps going and is asking you to change and come out of it and move forward. I don't know whether you are not supposed to dig or bury those coins or not, the situation. But I do know that at the very least, you're not supposed to sit in just that Ace of Wands. You're supposed to move forward and take that energy elsewhere. I don't know if it's healthy to leave that in the ground and not dealt with. I don't even know, honestly, if you have a choice on it right now, though, because I don't even know if you know how to release it. And there may be a chance for some of you, if you can release it, then release it. Because if it's supposed to come back, it will. But there may be a chance for some of you that you have to bury it because you don't know how to release it as of right yet. And that actually embarking on this journey is what will give you that answer. But you can't just sit in this energy, or you're going to end up digging up those pentacles and doing the same thing all over again. I don't think there's a clear answer to this. I think if you have to choose anything and not burying it keeps you stuck, then bury it and move forward and expand this energy, because this journey will lead you to what to do with that Four of Pentacles anyways. I just think the only thing about it is that you don't want to have that buried and not learn the lesson. And when you get in this energy, those Four of Pentacles claw themselves out of that hole. And then they come and start to block this expanding energy that you've been building. There's something about this that is blocking your expansion. And I think that's the part where I don't know if it's that great to just bury those and leave it for later and see what comes up. I think there has to be a way to find a way to write that off, because not only to create balance within you, there's a rebirth almost that needs to happen within you, but also it needs to be taken care of, and something needs to be seen about it. It's not even just because I feel like that energy really it really pulls you in. I mean, think of the Four of Pentacles energy anyways. I mean, this is literally, here's you are, the advice is asking you to expand and grow, and yet you end up sitting in the Four of Pentacles energy, which is all about pulling your energy in and holding it tight. It's the opposite of the energy that is being asked of you. So I think that's why I don't know if it's a great thing to do that, because there's a lesson that is having to be had in that's being missed. That if you don't see that, whatever it is, and overcome it, you're not going to see or be confident or something enough to expand. Your attention is going to be divided still and waiting. Basically, you want it to where when this energy is building, either on its own or to the Two of Wands, you're going in the direction you're supposed to go into. And even if you're like, no, it's in the ground, it's not. I mean, think about it. You're in the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords mind frame. You're in your mind. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So you're not. It's an illusion. Even if it's in the ground, it's still blocking you. Like, this is a huge part of the pattern that is happening, and that's probably goes back lifetimes, honestly, to be honest with you. That's like this. I feel like this is a huge lifetime soul lesson for you guys that is really being asked of you to see. Because when I asked if the Four of Pentacles should be buried, there's the Five of Cups, regret, justice, balance. You have tons of things on balance. The Truth, this is one of the cards to specifically this deck, and speak. Nine of Cups, happiness. Excuse me. I don't know how, and I don't know if a conversation has to be had, or I don't know what, but something about releasing the hurt of this and speaking up for yourself and what you want and how you've been hurt is what's needing to be had, to have justice here, to balance the scales, to then create this One of Wands, Ace of Wands, to go into the Two of Wands, to where now you can focus and move forward. Because everything's about balance here. I mean, you have masculine, feminine, sun, moon, a lot of moons, Two of Pentacles, Two of Cups, Six of Pentacles. I mean, whether you think that you've healed it or not, I don't know. Maybe there's a certain amount of pain here that you've got to get up and balance the scales on and have justice for, and speaking your truth to learn your lesson. You know, this is also the Five of Cups, like has Scorpio on it, Mars. So it could be during Scorpio season or this coming because of the Scorpio new moon, but needing to do this to learn the lesson and balance the scales so you don't keep repeating the cycle and getting stung over and over again. But I don't know how that's going to be for each person, and maybe I'll figure it out as I get going with more with this reading, but I think that's why you can't bury the pentacles and just wait on this to evolve later. I think part of the evolution of this, at the very least within yourself, is needing to be you speaking up for yourself and what you felt was done to you and what you want in order to balance the scales and create balance. So that now you can go forward and truly be focused on the things that are right for you. There may be a lot of this subconsciously of what's holding you back and drawing you to this, like a moth to the light or moth to a flame, is you wanting to try to make this situation right. And I don't think you can make it right in the way that you're thinking or trying to. And even if you did, like, let's be honest, even if you did and this person or situation came to you, once you got comfortable enough to where for that minute you thought they were locked in, chances are you would unleash all this anyways. So, I don't know. Soul journey set aside, this may be something that's good to get out while you're not together. So at least they don't have the idea of, just in case something comes, I don't know. They don't have the idea of when you're together, it's going to, you know, always be fighting. Or maybe you delivering this also brings them a level of awakening, bringing them from this Knight of Pentacles. Because you've got two Knight of Pentacles here. So this other person, I feel, if you want to put this as a person, is showing up as the Knight of Pentacles. Very, you know, not taking much action, probably like doing their own thing, maybe slow to commit, I don't know. Just focus on themselves, maybe their money, I don't know, that doesn't matter. Either way, they're showing up as the Knight of Pentacles. And you're wanting them to evolve to the Emperor. So maybe this actually, maybe you seeing this path or this cycle is actually what's going to help them possibly transform to the Emperor. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. That's the icing on the cake if that happens. But this is needed for your soul evolution. And you're not really going to evolve in the way you need to, or this is just going to keep coming up as a recycled pattern until you do this and you get this done. Until you speak your truth and what you want and what you felt was done to you, and you balance these scales. I mean, hopefully you could find a way to not do it in a totally destructive, chaotic way, but I mean, at the very least, whatever you need to do it. So, I mean, when I pulled three, like, well, actually I came out with three kind of spiritual cards, it pretty much showed like a truth, like Ace of Swords, you seeing something, maybe you trying to ascend higher or some message from the above, like it comes from you, it's being guided. You do see some type of enlightenment. So you have the Sun card again. Maybe there's even an ego thing involved. Ego or success. I think you get some type of idea, or maybe every time you do, that helps you to grow and evolve and become higher and enlighten or become successful. You get kind of this Five of Pentacles vibe, which again, you have two of these. So also there's a level of a self-sabotage vibe here that also goes with the discipline. You start to get a lot of these illusions and these kind of like little demons in your head start to like come to you and scare you and pull you back down. It's kind of like, oh wow, that's reality. Yeah, it is. And now you're feeling great. You're sitting in this energy, and then something in your subconscious keeps coming in and it just yanks you right back down. Exactly like up here with this Queen of Wands. Queen of Swords and Seven of Wands, and you cut it out, you block it off. And then your likely future, you're sitting here battling your own mind. Like, these energies are very much of the same. Something in your mind is battling itself and not wanting to let it go. Like, you really have to look at what this serves for you. What does this serve in your subconscious? Because something about it, every time you start to rise or get an idea and then you get that fire back, you pull yourself right back down. You've got to have enough discipline within yourself and see what you're doing. That veil in your mind between your conscious and your subconscious and your higher self and your lower self. You have to see your mind as that veil. This, you have to have compassion for. It's trying to protect you, but it's wrong. It's feeding you a lies and a lack mentality in order to keep you safe. What about this person? You got the World card need to come up. What about this situation or person makes you feel? What does it tell you about yourself that makes you feel safe? Three suns, now three moons and three suns. It keeps you blocked in. It's literally your inner child and your ego keeping you pulled back. It fears you breaking out. It fears whether or not you'll be able to handle it. It fears the vulnerability of the unknown. Like, literally when I asked that, you got the Hierophant. You know, this is order, routine, orthodox, like tradition. You must stay within these limits. Also learning your lesson. And then you have the Sun, which is going away from this, and she's like skippity-doo free. So here's boundaries, like being boxed in. You must do this in order to do this. The shackles. Surprised we don't have a devil card up here. Actually, we do. But And this is you breaking free out of it. Being free, taking that chance, seeing bigger things. And this is what comes. 5 of Wands. You have a lot of 5s too. And this is your ego trying to pull you back down. And you're throwing apples at it to calm it down. So now, instead of 2 seconds ago, you were in this energy breaking free. Something in you yanks you back and pulls your attention back to it. And now you can't be free anymore exploring this new path and energy, because all your energy is now being spent calming this inner part of you. This situation or this person represents your shadow. Or your shadow keeps them around to keep you safe. It's like, as long as you're remaining, you don't even have to be with them. As long as you're remaining just doing your normal things. As long as you're in autopilot mode every day, whether this person's around or not, as long as you're in autopilot mode, it's like you're fine. But if you get any type of idea, revolution, download, anything that breaks you out, or maybe you even start to feel too good, this person or situation or something like it comes to mind to pull you back down. It's trying to keep you safe. But you have to know better than it. You have to, like this otherworldly, this is also your higher self. You also have to use your higher level of knowledge and discernment to override this part of yourself. And when it's screaming at you to give it attention, you need to keep moving forward. Keep expanding. Do not let it stop you. You have to have enough discipline to override this. It's what's going to keep you out of the cycle. You can do work with me to see more things that are causing you this. I mean, I'm giving you a leg up right now instead of being like, come see me. I mean, you can go further because this is general still. So I'm doing myself a little bit of a disservice by doing this. But still, I mean, I want you guys to know, and that bothers me. And if you guys want to know more than this and how you specifically can do it and why you're doing it and what part of your past contributes to this, then come to me and I can help you with that. But at the very least, this is a general, what is it, synopsis? Is that the word? Like, this is a very general thing of what's going on here. And what these inner things in your head are doing. They are trying to keep you safe. But your high priestess part, she's trying to let you know, but like she looks stuck. It's like as soon as it's like not only are you held to be quiet, but so is he, your higher self. Because as soon as they speak, all this starts to come up. And it distracts you, it pulls you down, and then it blocks and shuts them off. So really, you're not just shutting off this situation or person, you're shutting off your intuition and your higher self, which is exactly what's going on here too, what's blocking you in the moon, the 3 moons you have. The moons are all about also your intuition, psychic abilities. The sun, you have 3 suns, enlightenment. Like you might literally be blocking off a monumental shift in perspective for you. An awakening or another awakening. Some Aries already had one. An ending of a cycle. Like at the bottom of the deck, there's the wheel. Underneath that, 7 of Swords. Underneath that, the Hierophant. Underneath that, the 8 of Swords. You ending this cycle in this pattern of deceiving yourself, learning the lesson that's keeping you stuck, cutting things out and walking away of things that are an illusion and not working for you for your higher good, that cause you agitation and competition and just distract you from seeing your purpose and seeing the light, basically. Like, you are meant to expand and do other things. You're not meant to just be in this back and forth cycle. What is that? 17. You know, and your cards is the end of this deck, or the bottom of it, are you being exhausted. Like, you're exhausted. You're trying to have spiritual discipline through this, but you're really not. The reason you're so exhausted is because you're actually not having much discipline. You keep persevering and keep going through it, but you're not having discipline to stop the cycle, when really you just need to sit back and listen to your intuition and have this rebirth. Another 10 of Swords. Like, look, this is your ego part of you that's getting upset. And it's almost like you're having discipline and your higher self coming above, and he's like playing a flute and he's like calming that part of himself down. This is you taking the journey. Like, he's on the journey. This camel's just going for the long haul. You're starting to rise above it, and because you're rising up, this part of your ego doesn't like it, so it's starting to act up to bring you down. And you see beyond that, and you're rising above it this time and calming your own ego down. And it's going to try. It's really going to try. It's really going to try to pull you back. Because it doesn't know better, it's trying to keep you safe. But you will be guided during this. You will be guided during this process. Like, see, look, here's you. Here's your higher self. You're being guided during this to see your possibilities. Again, led to this Two of Wands. You're being guided right now to try to see, to this Two of Wands, to see things from an expanded and a higher, bigger picture, to gain you a better level of a stronger foundation. Again, Four of Wands. Four of Wands. You have so many repeating cards here and so many like mirroring ones. The Death card, transformation. This is leading you to a better foundation, a better balance, a stronger way, an ending of a cycle to begin a new one, existence. You have a lot of Two of Pentacles that keeps coming up too, multiples of that. Your High Priestess, Ten of Wands, suppression, wanting to go outside the gate and not be confined anymore, being locked in the prison of your past. This is what's keeping you in this gate. Is that what is that how your past is serving you? It's trying to keep you back. It's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to convince you that flying, spreading your wings and flying and going down a new path won't be good for you? Or is your past your way of constantly reminding yourself, look what happened the last time I tried? Exactly like the song, too good at goodbyes. Like, every time you get there, you leave. You never let opportunities get too close to you, because every time you open up and you do, it hurts. And you get left in the dirt. You hurt less and less every time. It won't work because you get too good. Every time you get close to something being good, you leave. Which is funny. Is that what this person is mirroring to you as a lesson? That every time they get too close to you, they leave? Because every time you get too close to a good thing in your life, you leave? Is that weird? That's weird because all your cards are mirroring. And you and this person, I'm sure, are like mirroring. Especially if you guys are twin flames. You're mirroring. Even if you're not, it doesn't matter. Karmics can mirror too. People mirror, like everybody mirrors in our everyday life, so it doesn't even matter. Like, did you ever stop and think that this person mirrors you on that? That when I say that song, you're like, yup, they're too good at goodbyes. Yup, that's right. And really, it's what's going on within you, and that's why their frequency is being attracted to you. Because every time things just get too good for you or too whatever, something in you always pulls you back. Because, like, that ego inner part of you is saying, like, the vulnerability scares the crap out of it. It's shutting more and more and more down. And it's happening because over time, you keep thinking of all these situations like this that remind you, like, I don't want, if you, like, basically, it's almost like your ego is telling yourself, I'm sorry, this is going to be a longer video. I don't know what to tell you guys. Your ego is telling yourself, if you forget about this, you'll have nothing reminding us of what could go wrong and what could happen. And it's almost like it thinks that it'll take away your protection. Because it felt at one time like you weren't strong enough to handle this. And it's like it protected you. It's kind of like a mom with a child who, like, they're overly protective and then the kid doesn't really learn how to take care of themselves. Or they have to learn it later in life because they overprotected them. It's kind of like the same thing with your ego. Like, it's like it saw what you went through at one time and it helped you through. And then it's like you learned things that protected you at one time and got you through a period. But now at this phase in your life, like, you can't have that same level of fear. It's just holding you back. But it's like your ego doesn't know that. It's like, this is what we put together and you need to keep doing it. And I think it feels threatened that if you actually, I think that's why it convinced you in this Seven of Wands here in your likely future. Remember that conversation I was having of why to keep it. And it settled for you just burying it. Because it knows it can revive it at any time if it needs to, if you bury it. I think you need to extinguish it being an option. And if it's supposed to come back, the universe will bring it back. But I really think you need to extinguish it as an option. And your ego is going to be really mad. It's really going to mess with you. And you're really going to have to know better than it. And know that in order for you to truly move forward and grow in the way that you're supposed to and let your soul evolve. And I know it's going to be very emotional. I can feel it building up in me right now. You've got to extinguish it as an option. I don't mean, obviously, like, you know, don't do horrific things, but whether it's that conversation I was talking about or whatever, you're gonna have to, like, completely just, like, break and come back together with that not being an option as something that could hold you back. Or showing your ego in a way that you are strong enough because you just got through that. Like, you have to overtake your ego. You're going to have to learn how to parent your ego, because that moth to the flame or moth to light thing, your ego, what that is your ego bringing you back to keep trying to protect you. And it's trying to constantly remind you what can happen if you try to expand your wings. It's trying to get you to not take a risk. Kind of like, you know, back in the day, in the caveman days, like, if you took a risk, it was a matter of life or death. Kind of like that. It's a fear-based mentality. Other cards that came up were, you know, they're kind of just saying the same thing, where I'll show you this Just put it like this for you guys. Page of Swords. This is a Hierophant card, but nothingness. So mind, nothingness, and then receptivity, which would be, I think this is the Queen. Yeah, the Queen of Cups. And then under that, you have the Creator, Conditioning, which is the Devil card. So this is the King of Wands, the Devil card, again the Moon, and the Strength card. But the Creator, Conditioning, where he's like looking like a sheep, but he's a lion. You had a lot of lion vibes here too, so Leo vibes. Past lives, courage. So it's kind of saying that you know, because of all this going on in your mind, you're not really being able to see properly this, you know, receiving your intuition and that flow within you. You're really blocking it off because of all this chatter in your mind. And it's about having this courage and this will and the self-esteem. Maybe it's being ignited in you. Maybe you're being guided to help with this, or it's just your guidance. That's you taking charge and you looking at who you are in your conditioning. And this is a Devil card, like you fighting this part of yourself basically and seeing it, and something coming up. Like, you know, this card really shows like past lives about, like I said, I really think this is a lesson that has gone way beyond this lifetime. And not only might you be having certain things awakening where you get informations or past parts of yourself from other lives, because you do have a lot of vibes here too, or at least a decent amount, about kind of like awakening, perspective changes, third eye, kind of mystical, magical stuff going on. So you might be getting certain downloads of information or stuff from past lives. I do think this is a lesson from also multiple past lives, that it's really trying to get you to break in this lifetime. But something may literally come to you as you're like mindfully making the decision to work on this and intentionally let this pattern go. That shows you something. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just everything I'm saying. Like, this card pretty much wraps it all up. Like, the pattern and the journey of your soul. Like, it's really trying to kind of ignite something in you to really look at this part of yourself and complete this pattern. And maybe they're even helping you in a way that you get some type of enlightenment or download. And you've got to really have courage with this. Like I said, you got multiple lions in a lot of this. And to me, this courage or strength card is very much about things growing in situations that it's very unlikely that they would grow there. Like, this is not a normal place that this would grow in between two rocks. But it still created the most perfect of situations for something to grow, which is, you know, kind of crazy that, you know, you've got, you know, the yellow here and the yellow here. And from you igniting this or using this type of will or self-esteem within yourself to do this and break out of these patterns, you know, this Devil card along with the Hierophant, to break out of these patterns and this fear that has been holding you back, not only in this lifetime, but I think for many, when you face this and go against this and do this, Something grows that you never would have thought. And that could be either in this relationship. I don't know. That's not even something to focus on because that goes against everything we're saying. That doesn't mean it's not possible though. But something in your life, either something you could have never dreamed possible because you were so focused on this situation, or something with this situation or whatever, like I wouldn't put limits on it. Something grows that is so beautiful in a situation that never should have grown in that situation, but it did. It was just all the right stuff coming together. Like I said, you're being guided during this. And it came from you. I mean, yes, this being ignited in you and being guided, guidance of it, but from you having the courage to take charge on this and do this, it causes something to really just grow and blossom. And it may be that good job from the universe, or it's kind of like that thing of breaking out of like Einstein's definition of insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result each time. That this time, just from having the courage to do something different, and like I said, you can't just bury it because then it ends up coming up again just because of your patterns. You've got to go against it and eradicate it. And have enough courage and will and strength to do it, not knowing what's going to happen. But it does bring you a new beginning. A new beginning on your, you have the Ace of Pentacles with the Hierophant. And then you have the Ace of Cups behind that. The Hierophant, the Knight of Swords. Oh, I get it. I'm trying to decide whether or not to say this is what I'm doing. Okay. Basically, the way it looks to this is that it starts a new beginning on a soul journey. Maybe not even just for you, but possibly this other person or situation. And it actually ignites not only self-love for yourself, but possibly within them. And you've learned your lesson because you have the Hierophant again, but now you're more soulfully aligned. Maybe even you breaking off this connection. And there is a little thing possibly of words between you two, if this is you and another person. And it's pretty intense. I mean, here's the Knight of Swords. So coming in ablazing. And then here's the Knight of Pentacles. This Knight of Pentacles, again, here's 3 Knight of Pentacles. You've got a lot of 3, 3, 3. A lot of threes. Very much an angel number. Like, this is very much being guided. Like, very, very spiritually guided. You got a lot of triple cards. Like, a lot of triple cards. And they're coming in, like, which is funny because it's like a Hierophant card. You've got a lot of bulls. But they're coming in fast. Like, there's no just standing around. And then you have the Judgment card. Things being brought up. Maybe even healing the call, but either things being brought up and healed from the grave or like hearing the call. Like, but either way, because it's both. Because this is brought up, there's a level of healing that is now able to have. Like, now you have the temperance, so now you're healed. You're all like, you know, singing Kumbaya, cleaning yourself off in the lake. And he's coming like, what are you doing? And that brings like the Four of Swords, a level of healing. So it might bring it for you first and then him or both. I feel like this is going to happen for both of you. Seeing things different, a healing. You might get to your level of healing faster. He might have to go through some of his stuff. But either way, he now sees things. He or she, this other party, person, situation, whatever, now sees things. They go through a level of healing. And now they want to work on it and have possibly a certain level of balance. Whether it's with you or something else in their life. Either way, you both are healed. You both move forward from this situation. And then the Three of Cups, wanting to come back together and celebrate with the Six of Cups. Not only remembering nostalgia in the past, but this person or you is now putting these pieces back together and remembering who they are and where they came from. Like, he's putting the pieces back together on this mirror. And bringing a level of peace. Two of Swords. Not focused on all the mundane stuff in life, but in your third eye, you're now balanced with your intuition. Moving on, coming to a level of value within yourself. That's not the reason to do this. That's not even guaranteed. These are energies, but the one thing you do have to do is the other stuff I was saying. But I do really feel like this is a mirroring type of energy. There's a lot of peacock vibes here also. So a lot of for display, haughtiness. You have peacock to protect your heart from those who may cheat before they hurt you. Wolf, listen to your inner wisdom and enjoy the gift of freedom. Enjoy the sanctuary of solitude to regain self-esteem and tranquility. Again, a lion. And then Hare, discernment between a passionate encounter leads to the magic of love. Seek out deeper knowledge to see through deception. Owl. And then, like, one thing that was blocking you again was really, like, haughtiness and thought, like, your ego, basically. Ego, pride, getting stuck in thought. Illusions of image. Fears, portraying a certain image. And then you have amplify your positive emotions. Oh, it's funny. The card behind it is expansion. So it's having you also do this and take a step back, but do this so that you can get in a higher vibration. I'm going to read these cards, though, and then pause. Culmination of a vision. Fresh approach. So all of doing this aligns you to see more properly and have a fresh approach to the way you're going to go about things. And now you're going to know your worth because you just took your power back. Try to hurry on this. There's a ripple effect of energy flowing from you. Be positive, simply stay happy, and sending that happiness out from your heart will benefit those around you. As you adjust your motives and attitudes, this energy flows from you in concentric circles, affecting all of your desires and beliefs. There is a chance to bring good fortune and influences to all of the events in your life. As circles also represent cycles, know that you are continually going in and out of cycles, growing and changing. With every ending comes a new beginning. Trust that the positive energy you radiate will attract what you wish for. And then you have pause. So before you go and amplify these energies out, it's wanting you to pause and do this first so that when you go and put that energy forward, you're putting it where it's supposed to go. Take a moment to assess what is really going on at this time. You are holding on to control and not allowing many wonderful blessings to come into your life. Grant yourself an opportunity to get into the sunshine, which is funny because you have like tons, a lot of suns. You deserve to receive this new prospect. Resistance can create unnecessary blocks. Interference can be caused by a multitude of energies, including your own attitude, other people, the weather, and so on. Create the opportunity to regroup and don't feel the need to fight what is happening. It is a waste of energy. Find something else to do and wait until there is a better flow to finish the task at hand. Damn. The willingness to try something new is all that is needed to create something wonderful, which is exactly like this. Because you had the willingness to create something new and you fought this part of yourself and worked through this cycle, maybe even got some downloads to assist you in it, something beautiful grew from it that I don't think you expect or would have never expected, because it's one of those things that grows in an unlikely circumstance. And then expansion is just talking about the cycles and maturity, new beginnings, growth, changes, paying attention to your environment, inner and outer, inner development and expansion. Pay attention to what is going on around you and the effect it's having on you. It's a good idea to recognize the need for extra rest and personal care while integrating new energies, so you are ready for important messages and opportunities. And then, so I'm almost done. Kind of, not really. This is about isolation. So this is pretty much just saying, like, it's good to be, since it was saying about taking time out to yourself, it's good to take time out to yourself, but also, don't go so much to where then it's a bad thing for you. And also it's saying, don't shut people off so much to where you're not letting the right ones in. And if you're cutting someone off, like, it may be up to you to reach back out to them if you want them to come back, because, if you always say no to invitations, people are going to stop asking you. And also saying, don't be so extreme with this. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, like all solitude or all society. Like, let the right people in is what it's saying. Don't shut yourself off completely to where it's like, that's another thing that goes to this pattern of why you need to shut yourself off is, you let the wrong people in, and it's like, see, that's why you shouldn't open up. And then you get so built up, and they're like, oh, let me let them back in, and then it shows you the lesson all over again. But in your times where you're by yourself building up, you're not letting the right people in, to show you why you should reach out to certain people. Like, you just keep going to the ones that reinforce, why you possibly shouldn't, and it's not accurate. So these cards real quick. This is why I think you have Fiona and the Unicorn, the gift of sacred sight, Dragonfly Mermaid, you've attracted wonderful news, and then Once Upon a Midnight Dreary, creativity, genius, writing, expression, artistic flow, which is funny because I don't know if two of these cards did, but two of the cards really came up about painting or some type of artistic stuff, like writing and painting or drawing or whatever. But something about, like, either your third eye opens or you start to really listen to your intuition. And it may be a little bit unsettling for some of you. So it really talks about really grounding yourself and being in nature and being around settling, grounding, and beautiful things. Because sometimes when your third eye opens, it can be a little bit unsettling. So it kind of balances that out where you still see, again, everything's about balance here with your reading. Like really seeing a lot of the beauty while kind of getting used to some of the other stuff that all of a sudden, you know, now you're seeing because of your third eye. Let me see if there's something more I need to see. Stay hydrated. Keep a record of what you see. You may begin to create spirit paintings, capturing these spirits' visions with pen, color, and canvas. You're not losing your mind. You have been gifted with sacred sight. But it tells you really to be in nature to kind of help balance. You know, look at beautiful and naturey things. And crystals. Because you may see some strangers or sometimes harsh images. Take the time to see into nature, and this opening will not be traumatic. It may be strange and difficult at times, but it will become natural and pleasurable, and what you see with your spirit eye will be pleasant for you to experience. And then through that hardship and possibly even all this, like good things are coming. Like you have, and again, you've attracted wonderful news. Like good things are coming. And I think not only within possibly these situations around you, but I feel like this is aligning you more like with yourself. And again, with this past lives thing, I really think that I get this vibe here about like soul retrieval. Like that some of you may even through this third eye or a certain awakening or whatever, that as soon as you make this decision to be there for yourself, and you, I think it's almost like the reward that you get from ending this cycle and now standing up for yourself and taking this chance, just you being there for yourself. I feel like not only the reward, but also because now your soul feels safe to do it, you get a part of your soul back, like soul retrieval. I think a part that left because things were too rough and scary, like sometimes parts of your soul can do that when it hurts too bad. And I think until it's kind of like convinced, or until it knows that you have its best interest at heart and it feels the environment is safe, or maybe even a reward for what you're doing. I feel like I just get that. Like I feel like a part of your soul or a part of your past comes back to you. And you're able to really grow and spread your wings, and it could really be something artistic. Like you really do something with this. And now because of that, because of this journey, you are actually able to expand with these energies. And utilize them. So that's awesome. All right, let's pull an animal spirit card and then call this a wrap. I feel like I always pull like one of... What are you doing? I always pull one of these soul cards, so let's pull one of these real quick, and I'll pull the other one. We'll be done. May not read the whole thing, though. I might just pull significant things out. Huh, that's funny. You have the Ace of Spirals and the Two of Spirals. Exactly like you have up here. Spirals resonate with divine energy, the sublime energy of the other world. They inform your intentions to help you discover your purpose and passion in life. The Ace of Spirals heralds new ideas, fresh inspirations, and stimulating opportunities. When an ace appears in a reading, it represents seeds of a new cycle. They must be nurtured physically. Really by physical energies, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually. And then this Two of Spirals is about making a choice. Again, you know, kind of expanding, but making a choice. And one of these spirals goes inward and one goes outward. And it's about not only looking at your outer world, but also looking at your inner world. Okay. So let's look at Animal Spirit card. I don't know if I said this. Aries, November 2018. I don't know if I said that in the beginning. Should I have the dragonfly and the badger? So the dragonfly is about illusions and the badger is about aggressiveness. So, you know, it's about illusions, about where you're putting your energy. So I'm just going to read them both real quick. Dragonfly. Then we're going to be done with this. Illusion. Dragonfly medicine is the dream time and the illusionary facade we accept as physical reality. The iridescence of dragonfly's wings remind us of colors not found in our everyday experience. Dragonfly's shifting of color, energy, form, and movement explodes into the minds of the observer, bringing vague memories of a time or place where magic reigned. Some legends say that Dragonfly was once dragon and that the dragon had scales like dragonfly's wings. Dragon was full of wisdom and flew through the night, bringing light with its fiery breath. The breath of dragon brought forth the art of magic and the illusion of changing form. Then dragon got caught in its own facade. Coyote tricked dragon into changing form, and the shape of its new body became like dragonflies. In accepting the challenge to prove its power and magical prowess, dragon lost its power. Dragonfly is the essence of the winds of change, the messages of wisdom and enlightenment, and the communications from the elemental world. This elemental world is made up of the tiny spirits of plants and of the elements air, earth, fire, and water. In essence, this world is full of nature spirits. If Dragonfly has flown into your cards today, you may have forgotten to water your plants. On another level, you may need to give thanks to the foods you eat for sustaining your body. On the psychological level, it may be time to break down the illusions you have held that restrict your actions or ideas. Dragonfly medicine always beckons you to seek out the parts of your habits which you need to change. Have you put on too much weight, or have you started to look like a scarecrow? Have you tended to the changes you have wanted to make in your life? If you feel the need for change, call on Dragonfly to guide you through the mist of illusion to the pathway of transformation. See how you can apply the art of illusion to your present question or situation, and remember that things are never completely as they seem. And then Badger, aggressiveness. Badger is vicious and attacks with powerful aggression. It is quick to anger and quicker to pounce. The power of Badger's medicine is aggressiveness and the willingness to fight for what it wants. And this really, to me, comes across a lot as like an Aries energy. The very thought of facing Badger makes other animals run for cover. Like skunk, Badger's reputation precedes it. Its hissing fangs will tear less aggressive opponents to shreds. Or this could be someone you're dealing with, but, or both. Badger is the medicine of many powerful medicine women. For Badger is also the keeper of the medicine roots. Badger sees all the roots of Mother Earth's healing herbs hanging in its burrow home. These roots are a key to aggressive healing. Roots can ground negative energy into the earth by allowing illness to pass through a body into the ground as neutral energy. Badger medicine people are quick to act in crisis and they do not panic. So this may also be saying too, like, it may benefit you to do grounding meditations. To ground this energy that's building up in the meantime. Like literally do ones where it has you can do guided ones, or where it has you seeing you growing roots from yourself into the earth, going all the way to the core and out, spread out like feeder roots and everything. And running that energy through and giving it to Mother Earth to, you know, thank her, but also she can filter it, and you can either just give it to her and thank, or you can have her filter it and bring it back to you, whatever. You can look it up on how to do that. Or email me, whatever. If Badger is a part of your medicine, you are quick to express your feelings and you do not care what the consequences are. Badger people oftentimes insist on carrying the ball for the touchdown. This attitude, however, does not endear them to their teammates. Badger medicine may also point to the aggressive healer who will have the courage to use unconventional means to extract a cure. And that's what I really think here. Like the mother who sits for days nursing a child with a high fever, Badger is willing to persist. Badger people can be vicious gossips or may exhibit a chip on the shoulder syndrome if they are out of balance. You could be sure that people with Badger medicine will be aggressive enough to make it to the tops of their chosen fields because they do not give up. They are also the finest healers, because they will use any and all methods to ensure healing and will not give up on the chronically ill. A Badger person is also often the boss. Yeah, this is like Aries energy. Is often the boss. Quote, quote. And the one that everyone fears. That same boss will surely keep any company afloat. Badger gets the job accomplished. Badger's certainty is a source of strength. If Badger pushed its way into your cards today, it may be telling you that you may have been too meek in trying to reach some goal. Badger asks you how long you are willing to sit and wait for the world to deliver your silver spoon. In this medicine, the key is to become aggressive enough to do something about your present state of affairs. Badger is teaching you to get angry in a creative way and say, I won't take it anymore. Absolutely. Like I said, speak in your truth and stand up for yourself. In a creative way. To get angry in a creative way. Like I said, don't be like destructive or not have mercy or whatever, especially if you have this talk, but find a creative way to say, I won't take it anymore. You must follow up by keeping your eye on your goal. Honor the healing process as you express those inner feelings. Be aggressive, but don't cut others to ribbon on the way. Exactly like I was just saying. Ribbons. That is too much aggression. Use your anger to stop your lolling around so that your doldrums of apathy are a thing of the past. Badger is a powerful medicine when properly used for self-improvement. Remember that Badger may be signaling a time when you can use your healing abilities to push ahead in life. Heal yourself by aggressively removing the barriers that don't grow corn. Exactly. Cut away the dead wood and use Badger's aggression to seek new levels of expression. Use Badger's medicine roots to keep grounded and centered in the process. That's awesome. Alright, I'm going to let you guys go because I don't know how many Aries are still with me during this, you know, but whatever. I love you guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. If you want to know more about my services, again, it's in the description box below. The prices, the process, all of that. If you have questions, you can email me, but it tells you what to do. You know, you see what you want and you pay to my PayPal and then send me an email of what you did and what you chose and all that. And then I email you and let you know how the process going forward. But if you have questions, email me. All email, PayPal, services, all that's in the description box below. I love you guys. I hope this helps. I'll probably wait till tomorrow and be doing the soul mate reading. So that will be coming out soon for Aries for November 2018. So I think that's it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. Pretty please and thank you. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.